The Ballon d'Or in the next 5 years, and the first matchup is Ousmane Dembele versus Lamine Yamal. Is Dembele likely to repeat, or is Yamal going to pick up his first one in the next 5 years?
I think there's more chance of Lamine picking up a Ballon d'Or in the next 5 years. I mean, again, Dembele could do it again this year, if depending on PSG, if they win the Champions League again, if they go back to back, if he's the best player in the team. And then France at the World Cup, he has an opportunity there. I mean, it's quite open, but I would bank more on Lamine given he's young and obviously nowhere near his prime. The
fact that people are talking about him in best player in the world conversations right now already, I think the fact that some people wanted him to win the Ballon d'Or last year in that Dembele year as well, despite him not lifting the same accolades that he did, there's no way you can't look at Lamine Yamal and say he doesn't pick up a Ballon d'Or over the next 5 years. Let me not even say multiple, potentially.
No, I agree.
I think we agree on that one. Lamine Yamal is the first one. Next up after that, we have Erling Haaland versus Kylian Mbappe. Who is more likely to win a Ballon d'Or over the next 5 years?
Ooh. I mean, they've both dipped.
Neither have one.
Yeah,
and
neither
I feel like
one, and they
both were predicted to almost have one by now.
Yes.
Haaland's had that record-breaking year. Mbappe's had the World Cup campaigns.
Yeah.
But still hasn't given them.
Yeah. I mean, they both kind of dipped in the past 18 months, you could say, in terms of Lamine obviously has popped up into the scene now, and that's kind of, everyone's looking at him as now being the best player in the world. So, I mean, again, it comes down to campaigns. If Mbappe has another wonderful World Cup again, who's to say that he doesn't win it? Erling Haaland for Norway doesn't really get an opportunity. I think he's kind of dipped it for Man City.
I mean, you could do a surprise thing for Norway at the World Cup. Maybe they're one of the dark horses. They have a deep run and he plays a huge part in that.
Yeah.
But I do think there is more opportunities for Mbappe to win it. One being at Madrid. Madrid are always going to be competing for the league title and the Champions League. City, Pep being in his last year now, we don't know what City could become life after Pep.
True.
Which then also leads into we don't know what Haaland could become life after Pep. Whereas with Mbappe, I do feel a more assurance that he is going to remain France's leader. He's going to... Seems like he's taking over dictatorship at Madrid. You know what I'm saying? They're calling him certain names that I maybe cannot repeat on this platform. But I think I'm leaning more towards Mbappe, and I do think the PR machine behind Mbappe is always almost going to force him to win one.
And Madrid's got the PR when it comes to club football as well, so it kind of helps. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you on that. I think Mbappe has more of the edge on that.
Next one is very interesting, and I'm sure the comments will be split on this one because I'm pretty split. Jude Bellingham or Pedri? Because if you're talking PR, if you're talking, you know, the brand being behind him, Jude Bellingham is all of that.
Yeah.
But then if you're talking a pure footballer, someone who maybe doesn't have the PR, the bright lights, people screaming his name, but if you watch him, you might think that's the best player in the world. Pedri's exactly that.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, where do you go?
Okay, I'm going to say, and people are going to obviously disagree with this, but I'm going to say Jude. Not because I think Jude's a better player. I do, obviously, for me, Pedri's the best midfielder in the world. That's undisputed, like, by far, in terms, especially when it comes to talent. But if you're talking about the PR machine, you're talking about somebody that has a track record of popping up with the big moments. You look at his record in El Clasico, scored in the last minute in 3 of them. You look at that Champions League run in 2024 where he scored important goals up into that final. He's more likely to get the big moments and have that, you know, the spotlight, if that makes sense, where he has that PR, he has that push to win a Ballon d'Or. Whereas I feel like Pedri, he's almost like the work that he does doesn't get appreciated as much. It's not in the front of your face. It's not loud. You know, it's more...
Do you think that's because he's got Lamine Yamal there and then obviously Jude now has Mbappe and Vinny in front of him there as well. So they're always going to take a bit of the limelight. But as you said, Jude will probably be in more positions to get those kind of glorious moments, if you like, even for national country.
But even more so that Jude's got more of the ego. And I'm not saying this in a bad way. He's got more of the ego where he wants to be the face. He wants to have those moments. He's always chasing those moments. You look at the England moment, who else?
Whereas Pedri's a bit more selfless.
He's selfless.
Team player.
But that's more his game. He's more like the Xavi and Iniesta, where they don't mind, you know, doing all the work in the background and giving the shine to, like, how they used to give it to Messi, give it to Lamine Yamal. So I'm going to say Jude. I'm going to say Jude would be more likely to win a Ballon d'Or.
I'm going with Jude as well. So far we've gone for Lamine Yamal, we've gone for Kylian Mbappe, and we've gone for Jude Bellingham. Now, the next one, Michael Olise or Ryan Cherki.
Ooh,
Two
okay.
boys that I feel like are restoring the feeling of what it means to enjoy football again. Genuinely. I think Cherki's ability is one of those... It almost puts you in a childlike state.
Yeah.
You know that kid on the playground who just picks up the ball and does whatever he wants with it.
Yeah.
Olise, however, I just feel like there's a level of... Maybe people didn't expect him to reach the level he has, but every level he's gone to, from Championship to Premier League with Crystal Palace. Then you go from Crystal Palace to Bayern Munich, which is a much bigger stage.
Yeah.
Then you go from Bayern Munich to the France national team, where people are saying, "Oh, he's not really French. You know, he's going to be not really fit in with that team." Every level he has taken to it like a duck to water.
Yeah.
Then you look at the Champions League performances this year. You see the big game performances, what he was doing to Madrid and Alvaro Carreras. I'm like, this kid is already, for me, a star in that French national team. Cherki, I'm looking at, I'm like, you're good. You're a nice piece, but I don't know if you're a guaranteed, even for City this season, he hasn't been guaranteed starter.
I think I look at both of them, right? And I look at Olise and Cherki. I look at them as players that are constantly evolving. They're constantly getting better, you know, especially with age and experience. You see now Olise, in the Champions League, you know, pulling up in those big performances. I think what it is right now, you're right. Cherki doesn't have the consistency in terms of being a starter, but you got Olise, who at the moment is putting up the numbers. So as it stands, I will say Olise.
Yeah, same.
But you know, Cherki, I think he's still missing that part in his game where he's almost like an unmovable piece in a team.
Yes.
And right now he's more in and out of the team. He's good for certain
He needs
moments.
to become that first.
Yeah, and I think he needs to evolve his game and become more of a player that, you know, grabs the game by the scruff of the neck and almost kind of evolve into like a Zidane, you know? It's kind of like, you know, have those match-winning, you know, ability, if that makes sense. I think he's slightly missing that. He's a game changer, but I don't think he has the match-winning ability.
So right now you're going Olise?
So I'll go Olise.
I'm going Olise as well.
Yeah.
And then the final one now. Declan Rice versus Federico Valverde.
Prize for both of them, man. Listen, what we doing here? What we doing here, bro? We're giving Ballon d'Ors.
No DMs.
We're giving Ballon d'Ors to workhorses. That is mental. That's crazy. What's football becoming now?
Listen, if Arsenal were to do their thing this year, get the Premier League, the Champions League, England do a little thing at the World Cup, are you telling me Declan Rice ain't going to be in some uncomfortable conversations?
Listen, we talk about DMs, right? And we remember obviously
Rodri set the standard.
Yeah, but Rodri is a one-of-a-kind DM.
Hey.
Let's be honest. When we
What
talk
if
about
Decker scores that 1-0 goal in the final?
against...
Whoever they play in the final. Let's say Arsenal get to the Champions League final. Similar like Rodri. Pops up with that winning goal.
If Declan Rice was to ever win a Ballon d'Or, then he did that basically essentially epitomizes everything that's currently wrong with football. Everything that's wrong with football, bro. Some people don't need to be, you know, Ballon d'Or winners. You could be a good player, a world-class player, a player that's appreciated, brother, but I don't want to see you anywhere near a podium.
Nah.
You know, I remember the Jorginho year. You know, I still look back at Cannavaro winning the Ballon d'Or, and it rubs me the wrong way,
World
bro.
Cup, man.
It rubs me the
World Cup,
yeah,
man.
but then, bro, at that team they had Nesta, who was still performing at that time. They had Pirlo, Materazzi. They had so many more better performers, in my opinion, in that team, attackers-wise as well, going forward.
So you're saying none here?
Come on, bro. I'm saying, if I had to pick out of the two, Valverde, because he has the moments, the rockets, and he's a jack of all trades. He can play right wing. He's, you know, sometimes you find him as being the last man up top.
Do you know the thing with Valverde, I will say though, is there's always going to be someone, if Madrid, for example, have that success, there's always going to be someone in that team outshining him.
Yes.
Whether it's Jude, whether it's Vinny, whether it's Mbappe. So if they succeed, those guys are likely to get the Ballon d'Or nod ahead of him.
Yeah.
Whereas at Arsenal, I mean, they're doing the best they're doing right now, and Declan Rice is being touted as their player of the year, arguably player of the league campaign. So I would actually lean towards Declan, and I think with what we said with some of the other players, the PR.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So for me,
100%.
I'm going Declan Rice. He's going Valverde. Let us know in the comments who you think you would pick for Ballon d'Or in the next 5 years. Peace.